Well, we are live here this morning, Saturday, 8 a.m. every week. For those who don't know me, my name is Richard, local realtor here in Mission. Sorry, I'm adjusting my screen here. And essentially, we're just going to be talking about the Mission market as a whole. I've been diving into the neighborhood stats, been building out some assets for you guys to enjoy. And then we are also going to be looking at some multifamily living. So for those who don't know, I'm a huge advocate for multifamily living. I think everybody should be doing it. I see the future being multifamily living. So we're going to be talking about that, but let me just figure some things out here. I'm trying to see how this works. But also the chats. Where's the chats? Nobody's here. All right. How do I do that now? Just move this over. Excuse me. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. We'll get it sorted. I don't want to do that. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. All right. Let me load up some stuff here. I'm trying to do... hopefully you got your cup of coffee. Maybe you got another type of drink. Eating some food. Watching me go live. Just trying to load up my mission map here. Got Google Earth. How's everybody doing this morning? Excellent. Good sleep. Ready to attack the day. It's beautiful out there. It really is. It really is. So let me show you what I got going on here. Let me just expand this. All right. Put that up. Put that up. We are laughing. Oh, I gotta share my screen. All right. So a project I've been working on is wanting to dive more into the neighborhood stats. And so typically what you'll get from a generic market update is that Mission went up 3% over last month. Well, what does that mean exactly, right? Okay, well, on a medium or average price point, it went up 3%. Well, there's many different neighborhoods within Mission, and essentially I'm going to be getting to Abbotsford as well, that, okay, the average went up 3%, but what about the properties that are a little bit bigger, more acreages, right? Or properties in the back where, maybe not as many people want to live, or the properties where, there's a lot more action and the majority of people want to live here. So is that 3% here? Is it 3% here? Is it 3% here? When in reality, Stave Falls here may have declined 1%. And in fact, Mission Core could have went up a couple percent. And so really it's just breaking down the data. And then on the side here, as you can see, it's not finished yet, but it's in the work in progress. Here, I'll expand it for you. That way you can see exactly what I'm working on here. Oh, stop that. And so I've talked to a bunch of people, and again, put in the comments there, what exactly would you want to see in a market update? Because the last thing I want to do is go through all this work and you, the end user, not find value in it, or the stats that I'm bringing up are relevant and you'd rather know something else. So let me know exactly what you want in a market update. But from what I've been told, Obviously, sale price is going to be a big one. The medium sale price, right? So you have average, which it's okay, but median tends to be the better metric to measure. And so this is what I've been building out here. Last year, right? So in West Heights, this is an example. Median home price was $950. List the sale price percentage. So how much of the, so this property was 2% higher, or the average was 2% higher, thus giving you a 98% list price to sale price. And the number of sales over the year or over the month, let's say, days on market, and then price change is kind of the big ones that I've been, as far as people that I've been talking to. I will be asking more people as I build this out. And so again, if you have any thoughts, ideas, what you would like to see in a localized market update. And so this is just Mission. So I got lots of data that I've been pulling from what me as a realtor have access to. Nowadays, like everyone more or less has access to this, but I grab it from the source that the board provides us with. And so I have all the neighborhoods built out here in different tabs. And what we'll be doing here is, every month essentially be going over, the changes, 3-month median prices, days on market, sale price, number of sales, right? All important stuff that I think you as a person maybe thinking of moving, selling, or just general knowledge of what's happening in the market. I think it's important. And then another one I was thinking about building out was just the BC assessment. I know a lot of people tend to, well, my BC assessment is this, and my, it's like, well, yes, it is. And that was a snapshot, at July or during July of that year, because that's what it happens. It happens during July, and then you don't get it until, the next year, really, January. And so the market, a lot can happen in those 6 months. And so the BC assessment is not a true or true price of your home, but it is something to consider. And so what I've been thinking about is just, again, building in the medium or building in the average BC assessment, just so people know, so they can look at their BC assessment. Again, not a true accurate price, but at least I'll have numbers to back it up and then give you a sales to percentage. So, if you could look at your BC assessment and then, okay, Rich says it's, it's 102%. So it's a little bit more than your BC assessment, or it's 95%. So the market's been kind of taking a bit of a hit since the BC assessment came out. You'll know exactly, but it's just, I'm trying to figure out how to pin that all together. So if anybody is an Excel guru, there's lots of cells here that I've been working on, and maybe there's a better way to do this. I don't know. I'm learning as I go here when it comes to this Excel spreadsheet. So without further ado, let's get into the Mission data. For those who don't know, I live in Mission, so I have a pretty good idea of what's happening, what's going on here. Let's just move this over. So again, this isn't fully complete, but it'll be good enough for the time being. So so start off with West Heights here. So West Heights, typically it's gonna be older houses, kind of average size lots. And so when we're looking at the data here, last year the median home price was $950,000, and then the sales listed sales price, so basically what the property was listed for, and then what the offer ended up being, it was 98%. Number of sales last year were 94 over the entire year, just in this pink sector here, this light pink sector. And then the days on market were 23 days on market. And so I don't want to go through all the stats because it might bore you to death, but I think the most important one to go through is the 3-month median, because what can happen in a month is you could have a whole bunch of homes that are lower priced sell in 1 month, or let's say in March. And then what'll happen is that could skew the data. And so what we want to do is, at least in my opinion anyways, that the 3-month median price is going to be the most effective prices. And so unless something drastic happens, or prices significantly fall, then it might take a couple months for that data to like get adjusted. But again, we have the last month's data as well. But the most important, in my opinion, is the 3-month median price. Joyce says, good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you here. And so with that in mind, right now, in West Heights, the 3-month median is $960,000 is what you're going to be expected to pay in this area here. The list is sell price. So if you have any actives that you're thinking about buying in this area, you can expect about a 97% list of sale price. So you can expect about a 3% haircut off the price. In the last couple months, there are 3 months, there's only been 13 sales here, 2 in the last month. And then days on market, about 60 days. So this is more important if you're thinking about selling in this area. You know, the days on market for the last 3 months have been 60 days. And then just this last month was actually 48 days. So as you can see, the price change here, let me just move over here a bit, has gone up 1% over the, or 1% when compared to the median price last year. And so that's a good sign, but it's typically what we see here, excuse me, in the beginning of the year, right? If you look at the seasonal data that happens throughout the year, prices tend to be a little bit lower in the winter time. And then as spring comes, more excitement happens, more people enter the market, more buyers, more sellers. And so we do tend to see an uprise in price. So that's kind of predictable. And then this one says minus 9.4%. And that's just month over month. So that's where the data can get a little skewed because, you know, a bunch of homes and higher price point would have sold last year. And so just to kind of break that down a little bit farther for you, right? We could see, you know, the median price last month, or 2 months ago, I should say, was $973. And then in March, you know, it's actually a little bit less. And so hence the price reduction. So, but that just typically because more expensive homes sold during February than versus March. And so that's why I like to take the 3-month median price. And so that's pretty much what's going on with West Heights. Then we have Mission Core here. Again, similar houses to West Heights. There's some newer houses up in here. We got a lot of brand new homes going in here. Actually, up a couple buy half a duplex in here. So that's pretty cool. This is the Mission Core. And so right now in 2024, you know, in 2024, the median home price was $980,000. So you can see it's a little bit more than West Heights. And then over the last 3 months, prices have gone up as far as the median home price went to $1,032,000. And then last month, a little bit more as well. See a couple more people have joined. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Happy to have you here. If you don't know what we're up to, we're just going over the Mission stats by neighborhood, so if you're thinking of selling or listing or just want general information on what's going on in Mission, you can tune in and I'll be going over all these different areas. So if you want to watch it later, you can just skip to the spot that you want to know more information about. So Mission Core. So again, we're just going to be focusing on the 3-month. So 98 list to sale price. There's 24 sales over the last 3 months. Yeah, the price actually has gone up 5% over the last 3 months compared to last year, like last year as an entire whole. And then just last month alone, you know, 5 sales, kind of similar list to price ratio, a little bit more higher on the price, but again, that's just because some homes, more expensive homes have sold last month than compared to the other months. And then days on market, so a little bit more days on market, as you can see here. We're looking at like 95 and 100, so up a little bit higher than these homes over here. And then Hatzick, right? So we're moving one place over. Lovely place. Oh, don't do that now. So this is where I haven't filled out the data. So Excuse my bad manners there. But we will grab the data straight off the sheet here. And so basically, again, we're looking at the 3-month medium data, right? So 3-month medium. So as you can see here, 1,460,000, a little bit more money than these other areas as far as on the average. And then days on market, 171. So quite a bit more days on market here as far as the homes that have sold here in the last 3 months. And then only 2 homes sold last month, 2 homes the other month, and then 4 homes. So we have a total of 10 homes that have essentially sold here. And then again, the 3-month medium is 1,460,000. But then the 24 actually was just about 1 million. So this year so far, there's been some more expensive homes selling, and it's really largely to do because they have quite a few newer homes going up here that are more expensive. And so I think on average, the medium price of these homes are heading upwards, but there's kind of older homes here, and then obviously some couple new homes dropped in there, but there's some all these homes here are recently new, and they're in the, well, as you can see, 1.6, 1.7, 1.4, 1.4. So it's driving up essentially the price here in Hasek. But heading on to the next one, we got Cedar Valley. So Cedar Valley is on the top of Mission. I wonder if I can do a 3D view here. Anyways, if you didn't know, Mission's on a hill, so slowly up the hill, and then as soon as you get to Cherry Ave, it kind of crests. And yeah, there's actually a lot of development happening here. Lots of townhomes. Tunbridge, yeah. There's what's it called now? Well, it's gonna bug me now. But a whole bunch of townhomes have been slotted for this area. Lots of new development happening here. Yeah, and then there's actually a commercial site going in there as well. So typically they're gonna be newer homes. Lot size is gonna be slightly smaller, and that kind of reflects in the data here. So let's just head on over to the Cedar Valley data. Let's just move over here. Oh, no. Cedar Valley. It's actually a nice area. Okay, stop that. Stop that. So again, we're talking about, most importantly, the 3-month median price or median price. But first off, we just want to talk about what happened last year as a whole. So the median price was just under 1.2. So I got collective days on market and days on market. I can explain that. Well, basically, days on market obviously is just how many days it takes to sell your home. But the cumulative days on market, because what will happen is a home will go on the market. It'll be listed at a price point. It doesn't sell at that price point. So what the realtor and the homeowner decide to do is lower the price. And so they lower the price, but then essentially it resets the generic days on market. So it kind of hides that, the truth, that's what's actually happening here. And so the cumulative days on market is actually, adding all those up together. So you have, the price point at 1.2, it didn't sell. Then you have the price point or the days on market at the 1.2. Then you have the days on market at the 1.15. Then you have the days on the market for 1.1, and then perfect, it sells at that time. So when it sells at the 1.1 until it sells, maybe it's a week. Well, that's the days on market that that the board says, or that what realtor.ca will show. And then, but in reality, it's like you've had days on market at the 1.15, you have days on market at the 1.2, and so collectively or cumulatively, it has been on the market for 40 days, but then it's only been really on the market at that list price for 10 days. And so this is like truly what the stat you want to be looking at is 44 days on market. And then, it looks like last year, most of the homes sold really close to list price. And then, BC assessment, which I'll be getting into later. But anyway, so March here, So far this year, we have 5 sales in March, 2 sales in February, and 5 sales in January. So a total of 12 sales happened just in this area alone. And then what we've been also looking at is the 3-month medium home price. So it's actually gone up 2.1%, which again is expected. It kind of seems to be the way the market trends to go, especially in this first quarter and leading into the second quarter. Well, we're in the second quarter now of 2025. And then the days on market, cumulative days on market, have actually only been closer to 20. So it seems to me like even if you look at this data here, just in this month, right, the homes sold in this month, it's like pretty much everything's been selling. And then you look percentage wise, it's pretty close. So everything seems to be pricing what the market can bear. No one's pricing their home too far over asking. And so shows that things are moving here in the Cedar Valley area. So that's pretty much what's happening here in Cedar Valley. I'm just going to take a sip of the water here. What are you people drinking? What are you drinking? You drink some water, some tea? Let me know. I'm a fan of the water. Huge fan of the water. And smoothies. I got a smoothie right here too. Ooh, tasty. Tasty. All right. Let's move along. We talked about Cedar Valley, Ferndale. There's some nice properties back here. Typically tend to be bigger lots. Some of these have older homes on them, but they're obviously, as time goes on, they knock them down or they subdivide the lot and they build some nice shacks on here, right? Ooh, one day. And then there's Bear Mountain right here. Some great mountain bike riding. Yeah, there's actually a lookout right there. Yeah, so you can literally park right here. It's a little side tangent for anyone who wants to go hiking or mountain biking. You park right here, you can head up there, or you can actually park right here, and there's a trail that also goes into here. But some great riding back there. But anyways, back to Ferndale. So typically going to be bigger properties and more expensive. And so let's go look at the data here. Look what's been happening here in Ferndale. So again, looking at last year, 2024, 1,567,000, so a little bit higher. Cumulative days on market, 131. And, you can see that 98% of list price. And so scrolling down here, we had 1 sale in January, so not too many sales, and 1 January and March. We've only had 2 sales here. And if you look at the number of sales last year, is 21 sales in this area. So properties tend to not go up for sale here, and I imagine because people just love living back here. Quite beautiful properties. And so we don't have much data to go off. So it's always one of those things where if you have little data, the data you do get ends up skewing it quite a bit because we're looking here, it's saying here the 3-month median is 1.4 million, so it's gone down almost 12%. And days on market 132. So one property sold for 1.5, one sold for 1.3. So looks like home prices, if you just look at the data we have gone down slightly, but as the months go on, obviously we'll collect more data and see what's going on here. But truly, I like this area. There's actually, what am I saying here? Nope, won't go into that. That's Ferndale. And then yeah, we got the prison right here. So if you want to live by a prison, don't buy here. Don't buy here. Okay, heading along to the next one. So we got Israel Bench, which is right here, right next to the Sportsplex. I love it. It's great there. Great visiting. And then, yeah, this is actually some newer development happening here, but this is Archer Green, Nelson Grove. Nelson Grove is a bunch of detached homes, and then Archer Green is a bunch of townhomes, but not in this area. So this area, we're talking slightly bigger, not as big as far as properties go compared to Ferndale, but bigger than the average what's happening in Mission. But there's some expensive shacks in here, pretty nice homes, and so we'll get into the data here. Let's go to Ferndale. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I'm just kind of spouting off information here. Boring you to death. But maybe you find this interesting. Who knows? Who knows? So as we can see here, back last year, 2024, median home price was close to the Ferndale area. Because this is Ferndale. Duh. I thought it was more. There we go. There we go. Winner. Anyways, so Israel bench. Median home price last year was a 1.9. So if you're looking in this area, you're gonna have to be expecting to pay closer to that 2 million mark. Collective or cumulative days on market, 87 days. So again, these higher price point properties tend to take a little bit longer. Tend to, not always, but tend to, especially when there's more uncertainty in the market. And then there's only 6 sales in this area. Obviously, it's a little bit smaller of an area, higher price point, so that makes sense that not as many homes sold last year. And then last, original. I didn't really talk about this, but the difference here, but original is obviously when they first listed it the market. Again, people are like, well, I want to try for this top dollar. And then over time, it kind of knocks away. And then list price is the last price it was listed at before it's sold. And so you're getting a 3% haircut usually in this area, but in reality, if it's been on the market for a while, you're getting about a 7%, right? So $2 million, what is that? 140K off the price. So when you're thinking of like putting an offer on a property in this area, don't be shy. A lot of people are getting 7% or anywhere from 7 to 3% haircut in this area. So January, no sales. February, there's only been one at this almost 1.8 mark, and so it sold fairly quickly. But like you can see, a 6% haircut off the price, or 10% really. Right? They listed at almost 2 million almost, and you can see in a couple of days they must have dropped it in the first week, and then they accepted an offer. So that'd be an interesting one to check out, actually. See what was going on there. But March, nothing happened in March. So again, only 6 homes sold last year. So we're on pace to, be less than that. So not much action happening here. Expect anywhere from 1.7 to 2 million in here. If you're going to be trying to put an offer on a property here, don't be shy. 3 to 7% reduction is going to be typical for this area. Moving along to the next one, we're talking about Silver Hills, Silverdale, and Keystone. And so another beautiful area, way bigger properties. And so, Keystone's up here. Silverdale is this area, and then Silver Hill is this area. But I just pieced it together because there's not that much data happens in here. But one thing to keep in mind, what's been going on at City Council is they're going to be doing lots of development here. They've basically rezoned this whole area to allow for basically what's been going on here. That's going to happen here. So lots of more houses going in here. Who knows what else is going to be happening? Obviously, as council of the city of Mission talk, I'll know more and I can let you guys know what's going on. But that is what's happening there. But moving along to the data, as far as what's happening here in Mission, Yeah, medium home price for last year, entire of last year is 1.22, or sorry, 1.24. Cumulative days on market 90, so again a little bit higher days on market. Only 20 sales last year, so a little bit more than Israel bench, but here we are. And yeah, you're looking at a 6 to 3% haircut off of a lot of the prices here. And then if you look, January there's only one sale, February there was 2 sales, and March there was nothing. So there's only been 3 sales in the total of this year. And we're kind of hovering around that same kind of average, the 1.2 price point, or 1.2 to 1.3 price point. But yeah, it's a little farther back. But again, if you want a little bit more property, a little cheaper than if you're to try and buy something in Ferndale, then back at Keystone here will be best. But yeah, there's some nice properties there. And just so that you are aware, because this doesn't really seem like it on the map, this is a big hill. So this, I wonder if I can do this. Oh, let's see here. Getting crazy on. I don't know if it'll work. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. Yeah, so this is a big hill. So if you're thinking of buying here, big hill. This is kind of more in the flats. But overall, I like it. I like the area. Bigger properties. This is where like you could probably do more of the multifamily stuff. But that's a little bit later here. We're going to be talking about multifamily homes in a little bit. State Falls. Again, we're talking. Oh, wrong one. Kind of similar, right? We're getting these bigger properties. Same with Steelhead, a little bit bigger properties. So if you don't mind living a little farther out of the town, you can get a little bit more land and whatnot. So last year, medium home price, $1,392,000. Total sales, 24 homes installed in this area. And the cumulative days on market, or the medium cumulative days on market, is 35. So nothing a lot. It looks like a lot of people want to either move or buy here. So January 1 sale, February 1 sale, March nothing. So looks like prices, again, there's just not that much data, so we're kind of really basing it off of the last year's data. Not much has happened, but back in the boonies. Yeah, it's a great beach here, lots of popular, and then also this trail here, very popular. Everybody hanging out on Stave Lake. Yeah, I don't know, kind of a side thing. Has anyone ever climbed Robbie Reed? It's kind of a side note. One day I want to do it, or at least fly my drone up there. I got some drones. But thinking about like taking a boat all the way up here, and then just park it right there, and then fly the drone up to Robbie Reed. That'd be cool. So if anybody's got a boat, let me know. I'll be your friend for like a day. Kidding. I'll be your friend. No, some great backcountry, and that's really like what I'd say is a benefit. You're close to the backcountry. Lots of cool places to explore. That's for sure. You guys digging the music or what? Let's look at the chat. No one's. Oh, God, let's do Mount Robbie Reed. Okay, well we better start practicing now, because that's a serious mountain. Yeah. Bring the ropes. Yeah, I'm up for it. So let's do it. Okay, moving on to Steelhead. Enough talking about hiking. Oh, stretching here, sitting in this chair. Yeah, we're back. Excuse me. Yeah, we're back in the back of Mission. Again, lots more hiking, lots more good stuff. But last year, medium was 1.33, 7 sales sold last year. So again, not too many properties going up for sale here. And then days on market about 109. If we're looking at the last, got one in February, still for 1.5. March, nothing. So there's only been 1 sale this year, which is a little bit less than last year. So again, there's just not much data to like adjust what's really happening. But so sorry, I'm not doing much data here for you. But we have a bit of a gravel pit here, and then the dumps over here. So if you kind of want to avoid these 2 areas, you might want to go in the back here of Steelhead. But like I say, there's some great hikes back here as well. There's just great hikes everywhere, honestly. It's great. It's great. So that pretty much sums up the what's going on here in Mission. I know I've been promising you guys that we're going to talk about Abbotsford here, but I will have this built out in the next couple weeks. Basically, it's going to be the same thing here. I'm going to be streamlining this data because I don't want to bore you guys here with data, but I like it. So again, let me know what kind of data you want to see. Because basically I'm going to give you the hot takes. So something like this, really quick, can power through it. And then also Abbotsford. So depending on how long this on average takes, we'll probably do this like once. Maybe like 1 week we'll do Mission, 1 week we'll do Abbotsford. Every time new data comes out. So every like beginning of the month, kind of like right now. First week of the month or first Saturday of the month, maybe we'll do Mission. Second Saturday, we'll do Abbotsford. And we'll just get into the nitty gritty, show you exactly what's happening. Like I say, medium sale price, and then what you can expect if you were to offer them, what you can expect to get. And then I was thinking about doing actives to sold or actives to sales ratio, because if you put your home on the market, how many homes are actually selling each month? That's kind of what I've been thinking about. Number of sales, days on market, price change, so month over month price change, and then a 3-month medium price change as well. That way you get an idea of where prices are heading and what's going on. So like I say, these kind of more remote areas, it's always trickier because there's not that much data that happens. So it's almost on a case-by-case basis as far as what to offer a property. But in these more higher densely populated areas where lots of inventory is moving, then you get a better idea of where prices are going because you have more data to pick from. So again, that's the plan. But let's just switch gears here for a second. So I'm gonna put my screen on full screen here. You can see my face. Let's just minus those ones. Let's get rid of that. House hacking sheet. Oh, house hacking breakdown. It's another project I've been working on. No, leave that alone. But do you have any questions in regards to multifamily living? That's what we're going to be getting into next year. Multifamily living, we're going to be trying some examples. Because again, I really do see the future being, okay, what are you doing? The future being multifamily living. You think home prices are getting more expensive. If you look at a 10-year average over the last couple of years, it's been pretty stagnant. But less and less people are being able to afford these property. They're building condos smaller and smaller. You see some of these new construction condos. They're like 280 square feet for like a studio, and it's like $300K. And so the power of like coming together, pooling all your assets to buy something that's half decent, and then you fast forward 5 to 10 years, the appreciation you have on that, that land essentially, it's going to be a lot more than just that 300, 500 square foot condo you have. Again, it's not for everyone, but I want to show you what's possible. That way you can determine if this is something you want to do. So again, haven't prepared anything on this. What I usually do is just hop in here. There's a website called househacking.ca. I will say this is my website. So, and I built it because I find it handy, especially when looking for homes that have suites, homes that have 2 suites, so 3 living areas, excuse me. Homes that have coach houses, duplexes, fourplexes. That is where things are going, in my opinion. And so I wanted to build an easy way to access that data for myself and for anyone else who really wants to. And so, you can look in here. What is house hacking, right? I wonder if this will work. Let's just see here. Let's just see. There you go. You would have wished you'd done this sooner. That guy must be smart. Back to the website, right? So that's what house hacking is, or that's my definition of house hacking. And so I just wanted to make easy ways to access this data, because you can kind of do it within the MLS, but here we are looking at the data. So for those of you who don't know what a coach house or a carriage house is, it's basically a secondary dwelling on the property. Some people call them laneways, some people call them a bunch of different things. But so I want to find a property that's happened recently. So recent property. All right, what is this? This is Salmon River. Yeah, let's just do it somewhere in our neck of the woods. Let's do it. Oh, house hacking. That's where I gotta go. Search for area. And so if you want to decide, let's do coach homes. See how many coach homes are in Abbotsford. And then we'll run some numbers on it. There's only 2. It's the problem. These are more custom, so most people aren't going to be able to see here. Let's get back into the data. How about this? Let's just go here so we can see all of them, and then we'll find one that's like somewhere nearby. All right. Surrey townhouse. What is that doing in there? Hey, look at that property. It's nice. Clayton, Chilliwack. You can do Chilliwack. So look at this one. Look at the details on this one. Just log in here. All right. So we got a house here. What's it all entail here? Amazing 2-story with finished basement and large detached garage. Was legal. Start the car. This thing's amazing. Here, I got to move up here because I always forget my head's in the way. My big head. Built in 2006. So what we're trying to do here is we're just trying to figure out the cost difference, right? So your parents, So the scenario in here is your parents, they own a property, getting a little bit older, or they're getting sick and tired of like living there, the maintenance. There could be a couple reasons why they're thinking of like downsizing or doing something different, right? So we have this calculator here. You can run through the numbers here. So, but essentially, it's going to take your parents' cost of their home versus like, if you're the adult kid watching this, or if you're the parents who are watching this, maybe it's your kids, and you can figure out how much they're renting, their rental costs, or if you're the adult kid in this situation, you got to put your costs in here and then figure out what your parents are. So vice versa. We're basically just trying to figure out the total monthly cost of your parents owning their house, and then you renting this, whatever it may be. And then we want to compare it to a property that's here. So we've got a property. I think it looks pretty nice. It's got a couple sweet options, which I'm a huge advocate for, and I love it. So versus the multifamily. So what you guys are paying monthly collectively for your living situation versus how much owning a multifamily home like this one would cost. So I built this spreadsheet up for that. And so we're looking at Chilliwack here. We got, let's put in the price here. Well, actually, first let's work out this one, because this is kind of the flow of the graph here. So your parents own a property in Chilliwack, let's say, right? Because you're in Chilliwack here. Let's say you're in Chilliwack. And basically what we got here, we're trying to figure out how much your parents own on the house, or how much you left own. So in this situation, I'm just going to leave this because it seems pretty reasonable, honestly. $1 million for the home somewhere in Chilliwack, and then they have $700,000 in equity, so that means their current mortgage. I did this mortgage, so go to online mortgage calculator, figure out the amount, and then you're gonna want to take all the insurance, property tax, gas, electricity, water, strata. No, there's no strata, so for your parents' property, add this all up. I did this for another property last week, so this is going to be relatively close. And again, they have no income being produced by this week because it's just your parents living in the property. That total monthly cost is going to be costing them $3,643 a month just for their property. And then you switch over to maybe your kids are renting, or you're the person watching this and you're renting, and you have a couple kids, or maybe one or two kids, or maybe you don't have any kids, right? So this is where you're going to put the monthly rent in here. Again, the easiest way to like figure out, I don't know what you're paying for rent, right? Let's go to Marketplace. You go property rentals, right? And then you just see if it likes to load here. Wow, it's not that big. Anyways, you kind of get the idea, right? So can make this bigger, but we're just going to struggle with this. We are going to struggle. All right, bedrooms, 3+. 17, 26, 22, 32, 23, 26. So I think what we got here is fair, right? And then we scroll back over, and you can see that between the parents and the adult kids, they're paying about $6,181 a month just for housing, let alone Shaw cable, all that other stuff, right? But that's kind of a generic thing that everyone really pays. Then you get into the multifamily. So scroll back over here, right? So you got this property here. It's listed at $1,394,000. So that's what it's listed at, right? Now, if we were to use, we're kind of got 10 minutes left here, so I'm going to try to speed this up a bit. Times that by the 98%, right? So now we're looking at, let's just round this out, right? Parents are bringing $700,000 in equity over, right? Total mortgage needed $671, right? So we're just going to go quickly. TD mortgage calculator. We're going to go here, calculate now. Again, I have no affiliation with TD. They're not paying me. Just kidding. No, they're not. That's definitely not a joke. They're laughing at me probably. Now, just talking to, everyone's mortgage situation is different. So you got to figure out, talk to a mortgage broker. They're going to let you know what you can get. I know you can get better than this. My buddy's buying a place, or in the process of actually buying a place. He's getting around 4. So we'll just leave it at this because you just don't know what everyone's going to get. All right, so put that in there. Insurance. So insurance, probably, again, these are all just probably a little bit more because you got 3 people living in there. Property taxes, looking at 4, 616. Gas, electricity, water. These are all obviously guesses, but these are based off my house, which is similar as far as coach house goes. I got a coach house. I love coach houses, just by the way. Unless you have bad tenants. Anyway, so this is where, like, depending on like where your parents are gonna, or depending, if your parents living upstairs, you're living downstairs, or what's the situation, right? So we have a 3 kitchens. What are we talking here? Let's just look at the pictures. All right, so that's the main floor. Scrolling through the main kitchen. Beautiful. I like this place. Upstairs. Big ensuite. Nice soaker tub. This is the basement with the... It's a tight kitchen. We'll give you that. Backyard. Ooh, a little coach house. I like it. Upstairs. It's probably like 400 square feet or no more. All right. Not too bad. All right. So let's go back out of this. I want to go back out of there. There we go. All right. So it's like a 1-bedroom downstairs. Maybe someone's living somewhere. So let's just say that, you and your family decide to split the main house, because that would probably make most sense. Right. However you want to do that, it's up to you. Coach house. Now, how would you? Let's just see here. See if something comes up. 1,500. $1,100. 1,300. That's a mission, though. It's called, I think, $1,250 up in Chilliwack. It's fair. All right. So now, to live in this house, it's going to cost you $4,691 because you have these total expenses and you're minusing the income producing, resulting in a $3,441 a month. This is where it kind of can get crazy as far as savings, right? So you have a multifamily home cost. This is your parents owning a home, and then the rental costs associated, $6,000 or $6,100. Saving $2,800 a month. A year, you're saving $32,000. I don't know about you, but that's a lot of money. And there's just a lot of perks. Obviously, you're living with someone, so you're gonna have to pick someone who you might enjoy. Oh, I lost my other chat. There it is. But you can just see here, like, the power that multifamily can have, right? There's gonna be some sacrifices, but I don't know, what would saving almost $3,000 a month, and your parents now don't have to take care of a home because you are, taking care of your parents. They live in some part of the house, or maybe your parents are now able to help their kids get into the real estate market. Save a bunch more money, right? Because now, depending how you structure the deal, your kids are gonna be able to save more money, right? Let's say the parents own the place and the kids are they're able to save money. They got a built-in babysitter. Or now you can share in all the expenses as well. You're sharing on the internet, you're sharing all these subscriptions that everybody has and doesn't use. And so this is just strictly just the housing costs savings. There's many other savings, which I should probably build something else up for that too, with a calculator or something. But this is just one example, right? There's other examples where two people renting, maybe they buy, maybe they're buddies and they buy a condo together, or two families who own condos, and then now they're wanting to buy a detached house with an upper, a BC box, like upper and lower split, right? Get a bit of a yard now, strata telling you what you can and cannot do. So I'm going to be building out more tabs here because this is just one example. And if you want this, just let me know. I'll send it to you. Just give me an email, I'll send it to you, and I'll gladly send it over to you. But that's a breakdown. It's pretty much what we were all going to be talking about today, as we're at the top of the hour here. So let's change my screen here. There we go. We got a thing in this movie. Well, hope you enjoyed this weekly's dose of mission market update, some multifamily stuff. There's lots of good information out there. Like I say, I'm going to be working on more streamlining the stats. As I'm sure you've been looking at all the data and you're like, wow, that's a lot of data, and I'm confused, Rich. I know, me too. So we're going to streamline that for you. I'm going to continue building out this house hacking breakdown calculator. You can't see the screen, but let me share it. But feel free to check out this website, poke around. Lots of good information as far as multiplexes, duplexes, coach homes, houses with 2 suites, kind of the one that we just saw there, right? That's funny. That one used to be for sale. Status for approval. Interesting. Must have an accepted offer on it. But there's lots of good stuff here. And if you want to look into houses specifically with suites, houses with 2 suites, houses with coach homes, multiplex, you don't want to do that. Let's go back here. So I got nothing else to say. I'll see you next week. Joyce says thanks. So thanks, Joyce. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, I'm going to get on with my day. I'm going to finish my smoothie. I got some stuff I got to attend to. And on that note, I'll see you next week. Saturday, 8 a.m.